Thanks for tuning in to Proline TV for the Monday after the Masters. And I wasn't really sure that we'd be on here recapping the Masters, even though I thought there was a possibility of a dramatic Sunday after what we saw going into Sunday. Jan, as Jan Stephenson, Hall of Fame golfer, joins us once again. But I just didn't have any idea that we were going to be witnessing one of the greatest rounds in the history of the sport. And so I had to bring you back. Thanks for taking your time to do this, Jan. And wow, I mean, just an incredible Sunday. We've never seen anything like it.
No, I mean, it was so alive all week. I mean, you could feel the tension. Everybody wanted so badly for Rory to, make to get all four of the majors and do the Grand Slam. And I just thought it was too much pressure for him. I didn't think he'd be able to do it. I thought that he'd probably be if he did it, which I figured he would probably do it in his career, but it would be coming from behind, not leading.
Or when nobody expected him to.
Exactly. Well, they're always going to try to expect it.
Yeah.
That it was, it was great to see, only because now it's over and we can stop talking about it.
Yep.
And he played great. I mean, to start 6-6, I would have been all over for me. I would have just said, "Oh, I've lost it." But what it did is it did help him focus, and then he got aggressive after that, which I liked. And I was shocked to see Bryson be so defensive and not even hit his driver coming down the stretch. That's the big thing he can do, is his driving. And then he put way too much pressure on his short game. I was disappointed in Bryson's decisions that he made, that he kept coming up short and hitting it in the water on 15. That was inexcusable. But really the big mistake that Rory made was 13, and he got away with it. I mean, to make a double there is and still come back. But you got to, you really have to look at Justin Rose. How great did he play?
Yeah, it was amazing. And not many people were paying attention, of course, to him because there were several times, even in the back nine, where he bogeyed and you were like, all right, he's done. And then a couple of holes later, after you're watching what's happening with Rory, and then all of a sudden Justin's scorecard in the back nine was like, birdie, 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 bogey, birdie, birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey. It was just incredible. I don't think he had a par in the back nine.
No, I know. It was amazing. And, if he hadn't have three-putted 16 on Saturday from 4 feet, he would have ran away with it. He would have already had a 2-shot lead. And like I've been saying all along, be in the clubhouse, because coming down that stretch is such a hard thing to do. And Rory making a birdie, his shot on 17, if it's 1 foot shorter than he hit it, that's why he was yelling to go, go, go. It backs up all the way back down the fairway, and he doesn't win. So it was so much a game of inches for both of them coming down the stretch. Justin and for Rory, it was so exciting.
Well, let's take a look at the big shots from Rory, and we're going to start first of all with. All right, so this is the decision, and look, obviously you've played the game. You're a Hall of Fame LPGA pro, won your own major, and talk about the decision here, because Jack came on the show on the Golf Channel afterwards and said he agreed with what Rory did, being you could say defensive, trying to make sure that he doesn't do anything stupid. But we talked about this hole on the show the other day, and I mentioned to you how this hole, we talked about all the difficulty around Amen Corner and so forth, but we've also talked about how this is one hole that actually is pretty good, because even if you hit the ball in the water on 2, you can still, it's an easy up and down, generally speaking,
right?
Compared to some other holes where if you hit the ball in the water, it's an easy double.
Exactly.
Here, as long as you have a nice shot, your 5th shot, your 4th shot's nice. You can, your par putt may not be all that difficult, or even let's say you miss that. All right, it's a bogey. Who cares? Who cares about if it's a bogey? That's why I was surprised that he did it this way.
Well, I said on the show the other day when I was there how many people were practicing laying up on that hole. how many of the players were doing that. And I was really surprised because the hole was playing downwind and they were all practicing laying up, which is, like you said, is a hard shot because, you've got to get the exact right yardage for it to be, easy for them because it's a hard pitch shot for those guys. They have so much power. And the thing that's amazing is that the best part of Rory's game is his driving. And so I could tell when he on the drive, he clearly steered it to get it in the fairway. He was way behind Bryson on that one. And they've been kind of toe to toe all day on their drives until Bryson decided to hit 3 with the rest of the way in. But I was really surprised to see him. And I understand it. Once you did that and he hits it so far that he could still, like you said, get over. And if you don't get over, then you make worst you do is make bogey.
Yeah, make a bogey.
But the biggest mistake he made, and he got away with it, is if you're going to lay up, the thing is you lay up and then you make sure you get it on the green. You do not chunk it into the water.
Yeah.
I mean,
he had so much room.
Really a mistake.
Yeah. It was one of those inexplicable, it was almost like he was going for the pin and he just was off a little bit. He had the entire green to just be safe, just put it back there. And he didn't even look like he was trying for that. It looked like he was trying to go right for the green and right for the tee. And it's, and obviously, as you can see here, he shanks it a little bit, and that's all it takes. Yep,
that's right. I mean, and if you're going to do it, I mean, he's really lucky because I bet at that stage he probably figured he'd blown the tournament because, you don't do that. I mean, and that's the thing I don't understand is that, and he got away with it again, but once he got to, like he said it in the press conference when it was actually good that he doubled the first and didn't birdie the second, and started so poorly. What it helped him do was really be aggressive, and then he changed his whole game plan on that hole and went defensive. And I know that's what Jack would have done. But if you're going to do it, like you said, you make sure you hit your third shot on the green. If you're going to lay up and make it 5.
Yeah, and either way. It was interesting that I did, and of course, as soon as he makes that 7, this shot right off the tee, and you knew that it was bothering him because he had been so really. I mean, this hole here to back up, it was just it started. As a fan, you just started to feel it, and then every one of these shots, you just started to get more and more upset, and you could just see something bad was about to happen in front of your eyes.
Yeah, you could see it unraveling, and I mean he did it on Thursday, and I didn't think he'd be able to come back from that because once it unravels like that, it's really hard to refocus and not think about the fact that you've just blown the event. You've blown the most important chance he's probably going to have in the next 10 years, I mean, so he turned it around on 15, which was what was the whole key. And then it was such a hard shot. And
it's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, he had such a hard shot, and that's when it was amazing because he didn't really drive it that great. He had to make a huge high hook and hit it, but it was kind of a do or die. And that's where Bryson blew it because Bryson he hit a beautiful drive and had plenty of time, plenty of room, and he could have hit anything up there, and he doesn't hit far enough. And that's where he blew it. And I mean, just made a very poor decision. But I was really glad to see that Rory made an incredible shot. And I mean, that turned him around.
Yeah, it was clearly I think it was the defining shot, even though he did not hit the eagle because things were going so poorly for him at the time.
Right.
That let's say he hits the ball in the water here. It's over. It's completely over. It's done. He's over with. And yet he goes from almost hitting an eagle to taking total control of the event again to just at least stopping the bleeding, which was extremely important, as we can see here, the finish of this shot, which was just, again, it was just incredible.
It was. I mean, it was, everyone wanted him to win. The whole, I think everybody there. And it's really a shame because Justin played so well all week and deserved it. And he's such a nice guy. But I'm glad for Rory, because now, like I said, it's taken it off his back. And then he is such a talented player. I mean, to be able to turn around and hit that 7-iron, that much hook and that high, hoisted it up in the air to let the wind take it, was just, it's really a hard shot. And especially on the downhill slope that he was on, that shot is so hard.
This putt here for Eagle, I mean, he had the same putt basically. What was it, yesterday, I believe? And you could tell the difference in his stroke.
Yeah, he wasn't stroking, and he pulled a lot of putts. If you watched, he pulled every putt he missed, a putt on 18, and the putt there, he just dead pulled it. Yeah,
and at least, again, he was able to put himself in position, which was important. And then I also thought this was important, is that, he came back with a good shot here and gave him another birdie chance.
Yeah.
And even though he didn't hit it, it was still a positive sign, because now he was, again, that momentum the bleeding had stopped for just a few holes, which was extremely important.
Exactly, especially since, Justin Rose was making such a charge. The others were kind of backing off a little. I mean, Ludwig Aberg had a chance.
He had so many opportunity. Every time they went to Oberg, and he'd be on the green with a putt to birdie, he would miss it. He would, and that's just not typically him. But I don't know whether it was the pressure or whatever the case may be, but he had so many opportunities and just wasn't able to capitalize. And wow, what a great start to his Masters. Even though of course, the final score is not really demonstrating exactly. I mean, he should have been like third, really.
I agree. He missed a lot of putts early too on the front nine, the first 9, and then to triple the last. He's just had a sick feeling in his stomach now to triple the last.
I mean, he was out of it at that point, but that's why when you look back at it, you might see it say a certain. Now, here's of course the shot that just gets over,
right,
and I think, don't you think it was important, Jan, that this got so close to the hole, because it made his putt easier? Because I don't know if he's making any putts, like 8 feet, 10 feet at this point. I just don't think he is.
I agree. If it had, and it's a foot from, if it carries to the hole, it runs to the back and he doesn't make birdie. And if it's a foot shorter, it backs off down the hill. So that right there was the crucial one.
Yep. That shot was an amazing shot. And then
and the pressure's on 18. I mean, he's only got a wedge he had a great drive, which that's what we talk about on 13. I mean, he's a great driver, not to have driven it, like he normally does. But he had a wedge and he missed the green with a wedge. I mean, he was really nervous. I mean, you could see he was nervous.
I mean, all he had to do is the same thing like the 13 shot. All he had to do is just put the ball on the green anywhere close, anywhere. It could have been 30 feet from the pin. He would have been okay.
Right.
And he just couldn't do it.
No. I was worried about him even being able to hit the bunker shot to as close as he did. I mean, he hit it to 6 feet, and it was a pretty easy bunker shot for him. He's a brilliant bunker player.
Yep.
But I know what it's like. I mean, he was clearly nervous, which is amazing for someone that's won so much. I mean, people always talk about, they're not, Tiger doesn't get nervous. I'm like, are you kidding? I've talked to Tiger about that, and everyone is really, really nervous. You just learn to be able to play with it when you're there a lot. And he's been, Rory's played great this year and been there, and he's pulled it through, but he wanted it so badly. I think that's why the reaction. I mean, it's the first Irishman to have ever won. Everyone kept talking to him about it. All of the Irish people that were there. It was amazing that they were just kept saying, we need to have him win. And look what happened at the Open Championship when it was in Ireland. I mean, he missed the cut. That's how nervous he was.
I mean, but wasn't that why it was so remarkable? As you said, he was nervous with this shot. He was nervous with that shot. Isn't that why it was so remarkable that he was able to come up with still some fantastic shots?
I know.
Because normally when you make bad shots and you do stupid things, you don't just come back like a hole or two later and make a miraculous great shot.
You're right. It's exactly what happened with Bryson. I mean, it just kind of snowballs the other way. Once it starts going bad, it's really hard to stop it. And then he's got so much talent that he turned around and hit some amazing shots right after, like what you're saying. The wheels were coming off, and then suddenly he'd hit this fantastic shot like he did on 17. It's like, where did that come from?
Here's the putt he missed to win it. And once again, it's that distance we just talked about. It was about, what was it, about 8, 10 feet, right around there?
It wasn't quite that. It was about 6.
Okay. Yeah, he just couldn't hit many of those at that point, that far back. It just wasn't working for him. But again, we're going to now, let's see, instead of taking a look just at Rory here, let's take a look at, we've got the playoff hole here. So let's take a look at Justin. And of course, we didn't get the opportunity to see Justin's miraculous birdie putt on 18, which put all the pressure on Rory. Mm-hmm. Because if he doesn't make that, and not a lot of people are making the putt that Justin did on 18, especially in that circumstance, Rory's got a 2-stroke lead, and it's done. It's over with.
Exactly, because it was about an 18-foot putt, which is amazing because you think of over the years how many times somebody's made a great putt to win the championship. You think of all the way back to Vijay Singh and I'm thinking of, Phil made that downhill 17-footer, and Tiger made about a 20-footer to win. And you think of all of the players that have made a putt on the last to win of quite substantial length, with the, it's always in that lower level. And really all he had to do was, like you said, is just put it anywhere on the green and it's going to go towards the pin where the whole location is. It's pretty hard if you've got a wedge in your hand to not be close, because it's going to come, if you hit the wedge a little bit long, it's going to come back off the ridge. And if you hit it short, it just bounces. It's elevated enough that it bounces like it does on 17. So all he has to do is put it on the green, and he hit it right to right to right. And it was like, where did that come from? And then, and when he missed that putt at the US Open, he missed even a shorter putt.
Oh yeah.
That 4-foot putt. So it's definitely, when he gets nervous, his putting is what lets him go down.
Okay, so Justin, you see his initial shot there. That was a decent shot. And then here's Rory's shot, and it's even better, of course. And he's able to use the slope there to his advantage. And again, he gets it even closer than it was to win it in regulation. And that's what he needed. He needed to just get as close to that hole as possible.
Right. It's just the same as the 17th. Like you said, on 17, when he made that putt, it's inside 3 feet. It's pretty hard to miss it at inside 3 feet.
And there's a tough one there for the judge. It actually, it looked a lot closer than it originally looked on that angle. When I saw it on that angle, I was like, oh, that's not that bad. Justin just made one twice as long just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And you almost felt, because everything that was going on with Rory, that, oh yeah, he's probably going to make this.
I thought he would. Yeah. I thought that Justin's been putting pretty well all week, except for on Saturday on 16, that he's been stroking it beautifully. It's too bad that I really would have liked to have seen Justin win, but I'm glad also that Rory did get it off his back. Yeah.
And of course, if he would have missed this one, I don't even know what to say. I don't think anybody would have. And I'm not really surprised at all. Matter of fact, I really felt that if he won in any manner like this, that this is exactly what we were going to see.
Yeah.
This was the emotion.
Yeah.
And he even said it. This wasn't about joy. This was about relief.
Exactly. It's at that stage. He's just can't believe it, because you know how exhausted he is, because it wasn't like an easy, any major when you're leading is so hard. The pressure is ridiculous because everybody's chasing you, and every time you look at the leaderboard, and he's like I was, he looked at the leaderboard all the time to see where everybody was. So he knew what was going on at all times. And so that puts so much pressure on your game. And knowing, that this is it, you may not have another chance for a while. He's only 34 or something, but still, you never know. It's such a hard thing to do. And everybody was always talking about it. I bet he had 99% of the gallery wanted him to do it. And so the relief. You're right. That's exactly what it was total relief that it's over.
And I also think it was probably a good thing in a way that it was a fellow, Ryder Cup teammate, even though, of course, DeChambeau went to the wayside. But let's just say it was another American up there in a playoff with Rory. He's going to get still a lot of people rooting for him. Yeah. But there would have been a little bit more of the American backing as well. Because that's what they look at here and I don't blame them, especially for a Ryder Cup year, that when you get these great players, which is the whole reason that we had this buildup on Sunday with DeChambeau and McIlroy, it had nothing to do with the fact that they were two great players. It had to do with the fact that one was from Europe, the other was from the United States. They were two great players that you could see like in a big match in the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, you're right. So, and I bet they'll want to do that. They'll want to put them against each other.
So Rory, I checked it. Rory was 7-1. On Saturday to win the PGA Championship. He went down to 5-1 after he won at the Masters. So now that he's got the monkey off his back and he's going to a golf course that he's won multiple times. Of course, it's going to be toughened up even more because it's a PGA Championship. But Quail Hollow is a tough golf course, no matter what.
You're right.
So,
but he loves it. He sees that course well.
He's actually right now on the sports book I use. He is now the favorite to win the PGA Championship by just a half a point over Scottie Scheffler.
Really, is that close? I'm surprised because I would have thought he'd be more of a favorite than that.
Well, Scottie's got that. He is the guy that, as far as Vegas is concerned. Like, matter of fact, this week, Scottie's like 3-1 because Rory's not there, even though everybody else is there. But it's like Scottie's 3-1. And I think the next player is somewhere like around 15-1 or something like that. So it just shows you the kind of respect Vegas gives Scottie because people bet a lot of money on Scottie, especially in big events because he is clutch. But let's be real. He hasn't won this year.
I know. But look how he almost won at this one. I mean, look how if he had just had even a decent putting day on Friday, who knows?
Yeah. So, look, I think this is obviously great for the sport. I have no idea what the traffic was like to watch it. I got to imagine it was huge.
The galleries were enormous. It was so hard to get anywhere around. I mean, parking was impossible, and Augusta National owns a ridiculous amount of parking area, and it was full by 7 a.m. on Thursday. So I had to park at somebody's house and pay them because I couldn't find anything. And I had to walk. I walked 3-something miles just to get to the front, to the gate.
Wow.
That's how many people were. I've never seen so many people. And it was like 6 deep everywhere I went because I was walking. I don't like to just sit in one spot like most people do and put their chairs down. And I like to see the swings and, try to move around a little bit and look at their shots and because I didn't have cameras allowed, so I couldn't video the swing. So it was really amazing to see that many people.
And that's the thing when Rory was congratulating the fans, I think he even mentioned something about the fact about giving it to the fans because he understands the difference between being at Augusta with no cell phones and being at any other major event, any other event where you can have your cell phone and if something is like some downtime, well, you got your phone and you can preoccupy. You don't have that phone at all during the entire time you're in the grounds. That takes a lot of dedication for a fan.
It is, and the thing that was amazing is they are the most educated fans. They know when to not move, even if it's just a line of sight, they just are so good at and to think of that many people. And when you're there, when they're putting, it's dead silent. No one moves. No one says a word. It's just amazing to think that many people can stay that still and that quiet.
Yeah, that's what's really great about the sport. And what's also great about the sport is seeing everybody come together from LIV. And this is the thing we miss the most. and it's they got to fix it. And I know they're trying. I don't know if you've heard anything, but I just at some point this can't go on. They know it. You know, only seeing DeChambeau and Rahm and these guys 4 times a year, it's just a shame.
I mean, look how many of the live guys did well. Patrick Reed. I mean, there was so many that, you know, that had a chance. And I know Trump's trying to fix it right now. He wants to see, because he plays a lot with Bryson, and he plays a lot. Well, he was playing a lot with Tiger. So I think he's going to step in and try to find a way, because I know that they're worried about the Saudis owning that much of an American company with the PGA Tour, but I think he's gonna do something Congress-wise to change the rule.
That'd be great. Be a lot easier than fixing the war at Ukraine, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it would be more fun for everybody.
It sure would. It sure would. All right, Jan, I appreciate your time as always. It's great to see you again. I look, at some point they're going to need to change the schedule. I know they love having the RBC after the Masters. But look, next week you've got this silly New Orleans team event that I don't watch. So just move that to the week after the Masters, give everybody a break, and then have the signature event at RBC 2 weeks later. It's just, I mean, how hard is it to go from Augusta to all this to the RBC where you've got all these other great players? Now, it's great for us as fans, but I even think I need a break. I'm willing to take a break for a week after what we just went through.
Well, I think it's easy because they can all drive. They get their courtesy cars for 2 weeks, and their family can be out for 2 weeks. And that part I can see. But like you said, I mean, it's kind of a letdown. Everybody that you think is going to do well is so exhausted. And if they don't play, I think Rory got fined last year when he didn't play, and he's probably not going to play this year.
He's not, no. But they do have, I believe, they have a rule where you're allowed to not have to play in one of them, I believe.
Oh, especially if you're defending, yeah.
So I know I had no idea. I didn't even check to find out if he had already decided before the event, but I would guess, knowing Rory, if he's going to pick an event to take off, it's going to be after the Masters. He puts everything into it. So
I agree.
Yeah. So I think that's what's going on there. But yeah, anyway, we're going to I will be doing a preview of RBC. So that's going to be available. Check a link in the description of this video for that. And then I'm going to invite Jan on as often as I can, so you haven't seen the last of her. Next month is the PGA Championship. It's not like we're going to see another major for 3 months. We got a major next month.
Yeah,
so
we do.
They're going to be coming now every month. It's a great time of year to be a golf fan, and the Masters, and usually it's the players is what kind of starts it all. And so we're really in the beginning stages. So I'm looking forward to getting you back on and talking some more golf at some point, Jan.
Thank you. It sounds great.
All right.
Thank you.
You got it. I appreciate it, Jan. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. And we appreciate any questions, comments you might have. And we'll see everybody again here real soon on our golf coverage here on Proline TV.